Some breaking Philadelphia Eagles news as Howie Roseman has made a trade a couple of weeks into training camp. You're watching Philadelphia Eagles now. Chase Sr. here with you, and this is why you subscribe to the channel. When breaking news happens, I don't care if I'm in the Chat Sports studios, if I'm at the crib, if I'm on the road, I am always going to break it down and bring you the latest right here on the show. So Adam Schefter breaking the news just moments ago that Howie Roseman has made a trade with the Las Vegas Raiders, and this one is very interesting. Is there an underlying storyline at the cornerback position for Philadelphia in that outside corner job between Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson, or is Howie Roseman just doing what Howie does and taking a chance on a player who in the pre-draft ran a 4.3 flat 40-yard dash, has a lot of ability at the cornerback position, and the Eagles trust their medical staff and their player development staff and coaching staff to get this player right. Let's dive in here. So the Eagles have traded defensive tackle Thomas Booker for cornerback Jakorian Bennett. Straight up one-for-one player trade, with the Eagles preseason slate getting underway on Thursday night against the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll be doing a watch party for that game, by the way, here on the channel. I hope to see all of the legends and real ones there. Bennett is a great athlete at the cornerback position. He measures in currently at 5'11", 195 pounds. He played his high school ball at McGill-Tulane in Mobile, Alabama. He was a community college guy to start off his college career after high school, Hutchinson Community College in 2018-2019, and then he went to Maryland from 2020 through 2022, and he was a fourth-round pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, 104 overall. While in college at Maryland playing in the Big Ten, Duke's Mayo's Bowl MVP, and a first-team All-JUCO member before he went to Maryland. In the pre-draft, Bennett, this is where I think Howie Roseman is very interested in the player because of the draft pedigree and the physical ability that he has, and the Eagles really value corner. Howie loves building in the trenches, defensively and offensively, of course, and he's talked about how corner is probably his next position of emphasis on defense. So Bennett earned a 9.58 relative athletic score in the pre-draft coming out of Maryland, and he ran a 4.3 flat 40-yard dash. So far in his career, he has struggled to stay healthy. 2021 in Maryland, missed one game against Ohio State due to an unspecified injury, nothing serious there. But his 2023 season as a rookie suffered a hamstring injury after starting the first 4 games of the year. So he gets drafted in the 4th round, and he starts immediately for the Las Vegas Raiders. I know it's the Raiders, dumpster fire organization. They haven't made the playoffs since, 2021, and they haven't won a playoff game since Rich Gannon was their quarterback in the early 2000s. Delaware Blue Hens legend. So Bennett suffered a hamstring injury, but started the first 4 games of the year. I think that's impressive regardless. A rookie 4th rounder starting for a team in the NFL. That hamstring injury then impacted his performance, limited his participation for the remainder of the year. Also dealt with a shoulder injury midway through that year, further limiting his play. Now, he did appear in 14 games. He recorded 32 tackles, 3 PBUs, and he did not have an interception. No TFLs, no quarterback hits. He's a corner. He's not really a run-stopping player who thrives in that role like a DeJean, who that's why I love him in the slot. Vic Fangio likes him at safety as well, because if you use him in that hybrid role, he can make plays around the line of scrimmage. Then last year, Bennett had some more injuries. Sustained a significant shoulder injury on top of the shoulder injury that he had the previous year. That happened in Week 11 against the Dolphins. 2 snaps into the game, ruled out quickly, placed on injured reserve, missed the final 7 weeks of the season. Before that injury, 26 tackles, 15 solo, 8 pass breakups. 8 pass breakups by Week 11, pretty much 10 weeks because he got hurt so early. You see some of the intrigue there with the player, right? He was back in action during OTAs. He's recovered pretty well from that shoulder injury. And I think the Eagles look at this as an opportunity to add a player who can help them in the secondary. Vic Fangio said today that Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson are having very solid training camps, and that competition is really close. But either the Eagles don't love what they're seeing from Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson, and or they just want to take a chance on a player who has shown some promise, who has clearly a lot of ability. Kelee and Jakorian Bennett now both run 4.3, and they think that they can really maximize the player for a player in Thomas Booker who was not going to see a lot of time at the defensive tackle spot. Value, value, value. That's what Howie Roseman preaches, and I think the Eagles get pretty good value here. Vic Fangio also said, a week or two ago, that it wasn't his decision to sign Adoree Jackson, that there was a reason why the Titans didn't re-sign him after taking him in the first round, a reason why the Giants didn't want to retain him, and that he was going to have to go out and prove it. And he said, I didn't have any say in signing him. That was a Howie move. But when Howie makes a move, I say, okay, let's ride. So there's a couple of different angles that you can take with this trade being made and trying to get to the bottom of why it was made and what the Eagles' thinking might be. Again, they could like Adoree. They could like Kelee Ringo. They just want to add a really solid player here. Howie Roseman's never going to pass up on the opportunity to bring talent in, and he loves great value trades. He's very aggressive. Who the Eagles are giving up, Thomas Booker, who is a smaller defensive tackle, but has a really explosive get-off, went to Stanford, really smart guy. He was a surprise guy who really flourished and thrived in training camp last year, going into 2023, ended up making the Eagles 53-man roster. He saw limited time. I thought in the preseason he was really good, and I had him on my final 53-man roster projection. And in the regular season, when he got opportunities, he made a few plays. But look, the Eagles are giving up a player here for a starting caliber corner who, in Thomas Booker, wasn't going to see a lot of time. You have Jalen Carter. You have Moro Ajomo having an incredible camp. You have Jordan Davis. You drafted Ty Robinson. That's 4 players off the jump right there who were going to be ahead of Thomas Booker. So while I like Booker, smaller defensive tackle, explosive get-off, had a good preseason, limited time last year, made some good plays. The Eagles like to use him as they got closer to the red zone because of that explosive get-off. He was able to hop in some running lanes and some gaps and make some plays there. I like this value for Philadelphia because the Eagles are stacked at DT, and I'm always willing to take a chance on a player like Jakorian Bennett. Now, Booker signed with the Texans in 2022 as a UDFA. It's not like he had a lot of pedigree coming into the NFL, unlike Jakorian Bennett. And he was with the Eagles for the last 2 years. More on Bennett here, the RAS, the relative athletic score, 9.58. In the pre-draft, measured in at 5'10", weighed in at 188. Now the Raiders list him at 5'11", 195. You always try to shed some weight to run fast in the 40. And so those numbers could be juiced a little bit, and or he was trying to slim down so that he could run fast. Very important for a corner. And so for RAS, he's not great, 5'10", 188, 13 reps of the bench press, 225 pounds. That's solid. What you love, though, this is the athleticism that Howie is seeing. This is the explosiveness, the speed. 40.5-inch vertical. 11 feet plus on the broad jump. A 4.3 flat, 40-yard dash. 9.94 20-yard split. 9.96 10-yard split was the score there at 1.45. So 20-yard split, 2.48 seconds. The RAS score 9.94. The 10-yard split 1.45 seconds. And as far as the percentile of that, 9.96. I mean, these are elite athletic testing numbers for Jakorian Bennett. Now, I want to look at where he took his snaps last year. So just bear with me. We'll do it live. See how he graded out here. So 58.6 overall grade last year. 42.2 run defense grade. I said earlier, he's a drop back guy. Coverage grade of 61. That was 110 among 202 corners. The year before that, didn't grade out well, according to PFF. 42.4 overall grade, 41.1 coverage grade. So those PFF numbers are not pretty by any means. Snaps by position. Last year, 406 snaps at wide corner, 14 snaps in the slot, 39 in the box, 459 total. And so this is an outside corner who the Eagles are bringing in. You have Quinyon Mitchell. He has been having an all-pro, Pro Bowl type of camp. Couple of interceptions. He's been the only one who can give a fight to Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown because of how great they are. At the other outside corner spot, Adoree Jackson Kelee Ringo, now Jakorian Bennett. In the slot, DeJean, Mac McWilliams. This gives you depth. This gives you upside. This gives you potential. This gives you a potential starter. And I imagine Bennett, even though he's being traded for this late in the process, might have an opportunity to compete with Kelee Ringo and Adoree Jackson. It's going to have a couple weeks of training camp and at least 2 preseason games. We are exactly a month away from the regular season opener on September 4th. Thursday, September 4th against the Dallas Cowboys at home. So, interesting move for Howie Roseman in Philadelphia here. Third video of the day. Hey, that's just what we do. Got to break it down here on the program. Thanks to everybody for watching. Had to take a break from Kyle Schwarber hitting bombs at Citizens Bank Park, getting an MVP chance. Then he hits a grand salami after he hit a home run earlier. Bryce Harper hit a home run. Phils are just on fire. Crushing the Baltimore Orioles. So had to take a break from that to talk some Philadelphia Eagles here on the show. Edmundo Sosa, he just went yard. You kidding me? Jakorian Bennett to the Eagles for Thomas Booker. Interesting trade. Philadelphia Eagles now. Chase Sr. See you tomorrow morning.